The simulator smells like recycled air and electronics. You've been in the seat for 40 minutes and your hands are wet inside the gloves and the instructor behind you hasn't said a word in 11 minutes. Silence from the instructor means either you're doing everything correctly or you're making a mistake he's decided to let develop before he addresses it. You don't know which. The synthetic horizon tilts. You correct. The synthetic altitude drops. You correct. The synthetic aircraft wants to do something and your job is to want something different and win that argument consistently. Outside the simulator, the Hatzerim air base is baking in the Negev afternoon. You can't see it. You're inside a box that is doing its best to convince your nervous system that it is a cockpit. Your nervous system is not fully convinced. But your hands are learning. That's what the stage is. Your hands learning while your mind tries to keep up. You are 19 years old. You have passed the gibush, the selection process. You have not yet earned anything. The earning starts now. Stage 1, Cadet, the pilot course. The Israeli Air Force pilot course is one of the most demanding training programs in any air force in the world. The attrition rate is real and consistent. More than half of the cadets who enter will not complete it. Not because they lack intelligence or motivation. Because the standards are set at a level that most people, regardless of capability, cannot consistently maintain under sustained pressure. You know the statistics. You do not think about the statistics. You think about the next hour. Your primary flight instructor is a captain named Gilad. Gilad is 28. He completed the course 4 years ago and returned as an instructor after his first operational tour. He has the specific combination of technical precision and psychological insight that the best flight instructors develop. He understands not just what you're doing wrong but why, at a cognitive level, you're doing it wrong. He teaches in Hebrew and switches to English when precision requires vocabulary that's more developed in aviation's international language. You adapt to this without being asked. This adaptation is also being evaluated. The course has phases. Ground school first. Aerodynamics, meteorology, navigation theory, aircraft systems, emergency procedures. The academic load is serious. You study in the evenings because the days are in the simulators or in the air and the evenings are the only time available. Then basic flight. The grob or similar trainer. Learning to fly an actual aircraft with an actual instructor whose actual life is briefly in your hands. The first solo is a specific moment. You are in the aircraft alone. The aircraft does not care that you are alone. Physics doesn't modify itself for emotional milestones. You fly the pattern. You land. You taxi back. Gilad is on the ground waiting. He doesn't say anything for a moment. Then, acceptable landing. We'll discuss the approach in the debrief. Acceptable. You were hoping for good. You accept acceptable and you go to the debrief. Stage 2. Surviving the cut. The first major cut comes after basic flight. You know it's coming. Everyone knows. The instructors don't announce it as a cut. They announce a review. But everyone understands the review's purpose. 3 cadets from your cohort of 14 are not cleared to continue. You watch them pack their things. You watch one of them, a young man named Omer who was technically better than you in the simulator, sit on the edge of his rack and not move for a long time. You feel this. You also feel that feeling it doesn't change anything. You continue. You learn the IAF's culture through immersion. The Israeli Air Force has an institutional directness that exists alongside its strict hierarchy. Debriefs are honest to a degree that can be uncomfortable. If your approach was wrong, the debrief will explain precisely how and why. There is no diplomatic softening. This culture of honest technical accountability produces better pilots. It also requires a specific kind of ego management. The ego that needs to be protected from criticism cannot develop at the speed the course requires. You learn to hear correction as information, not judgment. This takes 6 weeks to genuinely internalize. After 6 weeks, your improvement rate changes. Stage 3, Wings, the beginning of real. You receive your wings. The ceremony at Hatzerim is brief and significant. Your family is there. Your mother pins the wings on. The Chief of Air Staff speaks. You listen. You understand that you have completed something. You also understand that you have arrived at the actual beginning. You are assigned to an operational squadron, F-16s, a base in the center of the country. The squadron has an identity, a history, a culture, specific operational achievements that the pilots who came before you built and that you inherit with the assignment. The senior pilots carry this identity with the particular pride of people who earned it through years of service in this specific aircraft with these specific people. You are the newest person here, the most junior. Your operational qualification begins. More training, specific to this aircraft, this squadron, this threat environment. Your flight leader during operational qualification is a major named Tamir. Tamir is 32. He has flown this aircraft for 10 years. He has the compressed intelligence of someone who has processed enormous amounts of operational experience and made it functional. He teaches differently than Gilad. Less patient with basic errors. At this level, basic errors are inexcusable. More invested in the development of your tactical judgment, which is the thing that cannot be fully trained and must be developed through experience with guidance. He is demanding. You rise to the demand. Stage 4. First Lieutenant/Captain, finding your capability. 2 years in. You are operationally qualified. You fly missions. Not the most complex missions. Not the highest priority assignments. But real missions, in real aircraft, in a real security environment where the country you're flying for has real adversaries at real distances. You understand the weight of this differently from the ground. At altitude, the country is small. You can see the full breadth of it from certain altitudes and headings. The distances that feel significant on the ground are minutes at operational speed. You feel what you're protecting and what protecting it requires. You have a peer named Rodam. Rodam completed the course 1 cohort before you. He is marginally more experienced and completely aware of this. He is not hostile. He is competitive in the specific way that good pilots are competitive, not against you personally, but against the standard, and the fact that you're both reaching for the same standard creates a useful friction. You push each other. Both of you improve faster than you would without the other. You realize this about competition done correctly. Your first complex mission. You won't describe its specifics. You will describe this. The planning takes 6 hours. The mission itself takes less than 2. The debrief takes 3 more. In the 6 hours of planning, you contribute substantially. In the under 2 hours of execution, you perform at the top of your training. In the 3 hours of debrief, you are honest about one decision that you'd refine. Tamir marks your performance assessment that night. He shows it to you. The number is the highest you've received. You don't react visibly. Inside, something that takes weeks to fully process. Stage 5. Major. Flight leader. You are 28. You are a flight leader. You are responsible for the pilots you lead in the air and their development on the ground. Their tactical proficiency, their continuation training, their readiness for the assignments the squadron receives. Leading in the air is different from leading on the ground. In the air, communication is compressed, decisions are immediate, and the authority of the flight leader is absolute because the physics of the situation demand it. On the ground, you develop your pilots over time through debriefs, through training design, through the ongoing conversation about judgment that cannot be completed in any single session. Both require you. You give both fully. A pilot in your flight makes an error in training that has operational safety implications. Not an accident. An error of judgment that, in a different context, could have been serious. The debrief is thorough. You lead it. You are honest about the error's nature and its potential consequence. You are not cruel. You are precise. The pilot hears it. He is a better pilot after the debrief. You are a better flight leader after conducting it. Stage 6. Lieutenant Colonel, Command. You are 35. You command a squadron. Your aircraft. Your pilots. Your mission portfolio. The Israeli Air Force gives squadron commanders significant operational authority. You are responsible for your unit's readiness, its culture, its performance in the missions it receives, and its ongoing development. The responsibility is the fullest you've carried. A mission comes that you weren't expecting. Complex. Short notice. Significant operational stakes. You have 4 hours to plan what would normally take 12. You compress the planning without compressing the thinking. You brief your pilots clearly and honestly, including the elements of uncertainty that the timeline has not allowed you to fully resolve. You ask if anyone has questions. 3 questions. All good ones. All addressed. The mission launches. It succeeds. The debrief afterward runs 2 hours because you insist on it running 2 hours. Your wing commander reviews the mission record. He calls you the next morning. The planning was compressed, he says. The decision to launch was correct. The debrief discipline after the fact is what I want to talk about. He approves a commendation. You lose a pilot. Not in combat. In a training accident. The investigation runs 3 weeks. You cooperate completely. You provide every document, every communication, every piece of the operational record that bears on what happened. The investigation finds systemic factors alongside the immediate cause. You advocate for the systemic corrections loudly, through every channel available, until they are addressed. This takes 8 months. At the end of 8 months, the corrections are made. You carry the pilot's memory with the specific weight that experienced commanders carry the people they lost. You carry it permanently. Stage 7. Colonel and beyond, the long view. You are 43. You are a colonel. You are at the IAF headquarters level, contributing to the planning and doctrine that shapes how Israeli air power will operate in the coming decade. The work is less immediate than operational command. The decisions you contribute to will matter in ways that aren't visible yet. You have learned to work at this remove. It required adjustment. You think about 24 years in this institution. The cadet who sat in a simulator with wet hands and an instructor who hadn't spoken in 11 minutes. The first solo. Acceptable landing. Wings pinned by your mother. Tamir's highest assessment number. The pilot you lost. The squadron you commanded. The missions you can never describe. Here is what 24 years built. The ability to make decisions at speed with incomplete information and accept the consequences completely. The specific judgment that only develops through years of real operations. The feel for what a situation requires before the analysis catches up. The capacity to lead people through things that are genuinely dangerous and maintain their trust through honesty rather than reassurance. A relationship with the country you protect that is physical and personal. You have flown its full width at speed. You have seen it from above. You understand its vulnerability and its resilience in a way that ground-level experience doesn't produce. Here is what it cost. The years are not retrievable. The friend from the accident is not retrievable. The specific ease of a life without operational weight is not something you've experienced as an adult. You traded it for this. You trade it again every time you walk onto a flight line. A young cadet is completing the selection process this week. 19 years old. Top of the assessment metrics. The specific combination of spatial intelligence, stress tolerance, and physical capability that the selection is designed to find. She doesn't know yet what she's entering. She knows she wants to fly. That's enough to begin. You were her once. The simulator. The wet hands. The instructor's silence. You became what you became in the years between that simulator and this office. She will become something in the years between her simulator and wherever she ends up. The IAF will demand everything it needs to demand. She will give it. Then she will understand. Not before. You go back to your work. The sky outside is blue and clear. It always looks peaceful from here. You know what's in it. You go back to planning.